Devon Larratt versus Vitali Laletin.
This is probably one of the biggest matches of my career, right up there with the Levan match. I'm much more confident in the right hand. I've altered a few things and added 2 supination trainings and more hook training. I've built a massive base, which I'm now tapering, and I anticipate being my strongest ever come April. I believe my hand volume has grown 11% over this last training cycle, which is super significant. And I stepped on the scale at 297 pounds this morning. I believe Vitaly's biggest threats are his toproll and speed, but strength stops speed. I plan on stopping him with my thumb and my hand. I honestly think I'm going to take his hand.
Brian Shaw versus Leonidas Arkona.
This is probably the mainstream fan favorite match. Leonidas took a good year off and put on incredible general strength. He looks decent training with Kalinichenko, and if you look decent with him, you are in the elite. Brian Shaw is such a monstrous dude. If you let him get his strength into the game, he is problematic for everybody. Experience-wise, Leonidas is advanced while Brian is still being coached and mentored. I am 50-50 on this one. One moment, I think Leonidas is going to win, then I think Brian is going to win.
Artem Moratov versus Moratov.
This is officially for the number 2 spot in the world left-handed. Levan is famous for gold medaling in the open division when he is barely 100 kilos. He is ridiculously strong, a hook specialist with blazing speed. Moratov is an absolute monster who was getting the best of Vitali before his injury. Moratov is obviously much bigger than Levan. I personally think Moratov should win. I think he's too well-rounded and too strong. If Levan can beat Moratov for the number 2 spot, it would be wild, but I have a hard time seeing him do it over and over.
Dave Chaffin versus Ivan Machenko.
Dave looks better than ever. He looks super healthy, and I hear he is stronger than ever. He is in a good place in his life. Even Machenko is probably the most proficient hook arm wrestler currently in the sport. I personally think that it might be quite close. I hope Dave wins for Team West and has a good long run as a champion, but this is going to be a tough match. I'm going to go with Dave, but I think it's going to be a very difficult match for him.
David Samushia versus Alexander Telotnik.
Samushia is the longest-standing champion, and he hasn't lost, but this kid manifester is a legit weirdo in the best way possible. Watch his training videos. He is not normal. This is going to be Samushia's biggest test by a lot. It better be a war for Samushia's sake, because it's a possibility that this kid just comes up and dumps him.
Bourneman versus Rorbachan.
Bourneman is awesome. Everyone can see this kid's talent. Lars has recommitted himself to the super heavyweight division. No more running up and down mountains. He's in the gym getting massive and strong. Lars has an awesome King's move and open top roll style, along with the capacity to flop for his press. I think Rickard will find himself in the driver's seat, and it'll just be a question of if he can figure out Lars. I'll probably give a slight edge to Rickard.
Bourneman versus Nikonenko.
Young Donovan is pulling the German champion, who I heard is really, really good. He's going to have his hands full in that match.